Hello, my name is Julian Anoitzi. I'm the Chief Executive of Pool Re Insurance Company. Pool Re is one of the founder members of IFTRIP, the International Federation of Terrorism Risk Insurance Pools. And I wanted to discuss with you for a few minutes just about the upcoming conference that we have in Moscow on the 9th and 10th of October of this year. It'll be the third time that the 13 member organisations have come together at such a conference, the first being in Australia 2 years ago, and then last year in Paris. If you're considering attending the conference, and I very much hope you are, I just thought I'd give you a flavour of the kinds of issues that will be discussed. The themes that are occurring in terrorism risk insurance around the world are very similar and very common to all of the different pools that will attend the conference, and will actually build on the themes that have been being discussed for the last couple of years. Much of the loss that is occurring today is not actually reliant on there having been property damage. In fact, it's occurring where there is no property damage, but nevertheless causing significant economic loss, particularly to small businesses. And I think as many of the pools look at their own governmental reviews, they will look to the lessons that they've learned not only from the losses they've suffered, but also from the experience of the UK in trying to get legislation through Parliament to consider whether they broaden their own coverage to cover non-damage business interruption. Another area of potential loss and reflecting the way that terrorism has evolved is cyber terrorism. And again, in Pool Re, we became the first pool to proactively change our coverage in order to actually cover the loss. Other pools do cover cyber terrorism, but many don't. And I think, again, the discussion will be around cyber terrorism, which thankfully to date hasn't actually occurred. But by future-proofing coverage, we'll be demonstrating our relevance to our customers by providing a cover that may become relevant in the future. Another area that I think will be discussed in quite a lot of detail is risk mitigation and risk management. And I think as pools look to, again, evolve, to remain relevant and to add value to their customers, they'll consider whether or not they can provide advice on the ways in which losses can be either prevented, or if a loss does occur, how it can actually be mitigated so that it might be less than it otherwise would have been. And so whether or not there is a way of incentivizing customer behavior by influencing it in the way of perhaps providing premium discounts for those customers that implement government protective security activities is something that I think will be discussed. And we'll be demonstrating a vulnerability self-assessment tool, which is an online tool designed for the use of customers to obtain a premium discount if they implement protective security measures. I think there'll be a range of other discussions, I think around issues, principally around insurance issues that you expect. The issue of insurance-linked securities will certainly be one that will be higher on the agenda. The ability to bring the capital markets to play in terrorism insurance, and of course their reliance on modelling. And so we'll have a range of academics there and modelling companies who will be discussing how you can model frequency and severity in terrorism. And then I think finally we'll be discussing how terrorism risk management and terrorism pooling and the mutualisation of terrorism risk, which has now got a fairly long history, could be used in the areas of other, perhaps natural catastrophes, whether that is earthquake and wind, or whether that is the emerging issues of perhaps cyber or pandemic. And in relation to that, we'll have a range of academics, but also speakers from other pools, principally the California Earthquake Authority and also the nuclear pools. And so we'll be looking to share experiences not only within terrorism pools, but also across catastrophe pools more broadly, so that we can get a better idea of how different mutualisation schemes work across the world. So I very much hope that you'll be able to join us in Moscow. I think it's going to be an interesting and a fascinating opportunity for pools to learn from each other, but also for the industry more broadly to learn from the experiences of those catastrophe pools. I hope to see you then.